Hey everyone, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Pokemon Gold. This is turn 31. Let's jump into the turn. We've got a whole lot of stuff to cover this turn, so I'm going to try to get through it in a timely manner. Okay, so we got a little bit of gold from Saffron. We have completed Thaumaturgy 2 and Thaumaturgy 3 on our way up to at least Thaumaturgy 4. We might go higher, it depends. We've got a Inner Throne claimed by Bugsy, the gym leader. So this should be Azalea City, as Bugsy is one of their national heroes. We've got a whole bunch of site searching. Unfortunately, not a lot of actual site searches, or no sites actually found. So, battle in Giant Spine, and we're getting attacked, and this is in Giant Spine. So this is kind of odd. Go and watch. Okay, so we've gotten attacked by a Steelix champion in Giant Spine, which I'm not really sure how this happens. We lose that. I mean, there's literally nothing we can do. We'll talk about what's going on there later. We have a fight in Omicria where we storm the fortress. And this one is pretty much a whole lot of nothing. It's literally just the wall defense. However, this wall defense actually does a whole bunch of damage to us. I'm going to pop... Well, I say a whole bunch. It's not really a whole bunch, but it is an annoyingly large amount. We lose 10 Glaceons, 3 Prodigy Blue Belts, and 2 Vaporeons to this. So we're going to watch... I'm going to try and figure out why this happens. But basically, so it's like, oh, they're firing, right? Maybe that's where we're losing it. Well, no, not really. That's not where we're losing, or where we're really getting hurt. What happens is we use all of our ammunition. And Machokes only go to the north side. They do not go to the south side for whatever reason, right? So we use all of our ammunition. We finally get a Machoke up there. We get a couple of other things. We get a bunch of Prodigies around, and then, like, legitimately, our Glaceon, or our Vaporeons, and then our Glaceons, I want to say. Are these guys frozen? These guys might have frozen out. I think these guys are actually freezing out. Why are these guys freezing out? Do you understand this? I think these guys... Okay, I think these guys are killing themselves. We're gonna check the Glaceons here in a second. So the Vaporeons and the Prodigies we lose because basically they filter up in here. And they slowly but surely get killed by a couple of the scissors. Okay? So let's rewatch from the beginning, right? So that's the Vaporeons and the Prodigies. Let's rewatch the Glaceons. Something is up with the Glaceons. We're going to go over here, right? Now the Glaceons have... they have 20 health. They have Chill 3. Okay, yeah, that's absolutely what's happening. Okay. They're killing themselves with their Chill Aura. They're fatiguing themselves out. That's 100% what's happening. They're fatiguing because they've gotten a Chill Aura and they get cold power, but they do not currently... I don't know if this bugged out or what, but they do not currently have any cold resistance. So they are, yeah. So as we watch, right, they begin to fatigue themselves out, and now they're starting to take fatigue damage and die. Wow. Okay, so I've got to report that to the mod creator, because that's definitely not supposed to be happening. That's unfortunate. So now we know that, right? I guess this could partially be avoided by putting them in like a skirmish setup. so that they're not directly on top of each other, something like that. I haven't noticed this in the past, so I don't know if this is a recent change, because there have been the patch a couple weeks ago, right? And then there's a new patch now. So I don't know if anything changed this. Regardless, this is an unfortunate loss that I wish we weren't taking. Okay, what else do we have? We have an unexpected event in Titan Step. We have an assassination attempt. And we're not going to watch this. We die. We lose a karateka. So this is basically just a 50-50. Every time we have a battle girl or a karateka looking for or site searching, and they get this little event, I'm really not a fan. Like, after having figured out what this event is and what all it entails and what you can actually get out of it, I think it's a very bad event, right? Or I think it's a very bad mechanic, because it just makes you lose mages, and you're already using them for you're already using their turns, their mage turns, site searching, which is already a certain type of deficit, right? To add in the fact that they could get assassinated for the chance to, like, pick up some additional shinies, and then if you do get those additional shinies, you'll cause a rebellion in the province later on. That's just not good enough. Like, it's just not good. So we got some afflictions cured. Ferris, the Adept of the Iron Order, has died, and we got a bunch of promotions. So we have a whole bunch of stuff going on, and I'm probably gonna jump around a little sporadically, but I will try to keep things contained. I'm gonna start off by talking about what's actually happening on the war front. And the first thing I want to cover is this guy. Everybody dies. So everybody dies. I don't. So here's the thing. I don't know for certain if he moved into this province from somewhere else. He might have been in Omicria, right? And he might have just been stealthed and moved into this province. Or he might have moved from Berman Heights. Like, we saw a Steelix champion in Berman Heights last turn, and he's not in any of these locations that we can see. But these guys are stealthy. So the Steelix champions, if we check, right, they are stealthy. And they do have mountain survival. So I don't know if maybe he, even though there's no connection here, they also have a crap ton of movement. They have 22 movement. So maybe he could just move this way because of mountain survival. I don't know. Maybe he could just have enough speed to get over, like, to go here. And he was just able to, like, move and attack. I'm not sure. Either way, this is a big fucking annoyance, right? Like, I had kind of chosen this front with Wellrid and Omicria and the Impassable Mountains because it was a good, easy front for me to hold. If he can just kind of, like, pop in through Giant Spine somehow, that really complicates matters. So what are we going to do? Well, right now we can't really do much. We are going to move Chuck onto Saffron City. There is this little army that has popped up with Pinecos and Scissors, right? We are going to hope that we are able to explode the Pinecos if they show up, because that would be preferable. But even in the scenario that we don't, these shouldn't be sacred scissors. We should be okay. There is a huge Steelix towering over the army, but again, hopefully we are going to be fine. We've also loaded up Chuck with a whole bunch of gear. He's got a Mace of Eruption. Basically, I just put the Armor of Knights and the Dragon Helmet on him like we had planned, but then I put a bunch of other random stuff on it because I was just experimenting, and come to find out, he retains all of his basic attacks while still getting any additional attacks that he is given, which is pretty powerful. So I'm probably going to work out a way to give him a shield in the near future, and we're probably going to go from there. But I also gave him the Amulet of Anti-Magic. And you might be like, Jeremy, where'd you get an Amulet of Anti-Magic? Well, fucking Ferris died, like we knew he would. So I got his Amulet of Anti-Magic, and he actually succeeded in making the crystal coin. So now Chuck has an Amulet of Anti-Magic, and he's relatively kitted out, and I have him to do Divine Blessing. I actually have him doing Fighting Field to buff our magic resistance just in case. A couple of gems on him for a couple of those options. Some Earth Power, some Stone Skin, some Flying Shield just for defensive scenarios, and basically just hoping that the Swarm does its job. So we're moving on Saffron because I think we need to keep the momentum going, and I think we should be able to take it, but we might find out that that is not the case if he actually pulls out some tricks with his Steelixes. But he's moved in to attack me, and he's still not doing anything other than Iron Will. And these guys fatigue out really quick, so I'm not sure that he's going to change anything up just yet. We are moving a small force into Giant Spine to try to take back what he is raiding, right? There's the chance that he moves back into Omicria. There's the chance that he moves down to Three Pine Grove. We're moving into Giant Spine to try to take that back. If we lose that, then that's going to be unfortunate, but it's not going to be the end of the world, like if we lose this little army, okay? So what else is going on? Let's go down towards Viridian City. So here in Kunal, we are sneaking out some battle girls, some spies, basically, and we are continuing to research, continuing to kind of train up this force, etc. These guys are getting a little bit higher. They're still pretty far away from hitting our Ampharos, but we're getting closer. We're also getting closer to some metapods with these scenarios, so that's pretty cool. We've got our first schoolgirl, and we're moving her into Kunal. We're also moving Nan Bagor back into Kunal because we wanted to build here in Three Pine Grove, but that's not going to be something that we can do with the current situation. So, moving down towards Viridian City. We have a couple of things going on. So we are moving people around for site searching. We're moving people around to carry around Mareeps, etc. Most of what is going on here in Viridian City is normal stuff. We are still trying to get this group to finish being promoted, which they're only about 2 or 3 turns away from. We might not wait the entire time. But the other thing is we're trying to, again, get rid of as many of these afflictions as we can. And now that we're healing 3 per round, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 3 turns, and we'll have most of them healed up, which would probably be our goal and probably be pretty good. We're also going to start getting some Persians pretty soon, which I'm interested in. These guys, by the way, are gold makers. I don't know if Persians are gold makers. Right? So these guys cost 8 gold per year, but they make 1 gold per month. So these Meowths actually make a profit. Unfortunately, I can't summon them directly that I'm aware of. I don't know of anyone that does summon them directly. Otherwise, that might be a pretty cool thing. I might actually need to look into that for Viridian City, because if that's an option that they have, that would be pretty neat. So, we are doing something slightly interesting over here in Viridian City, or at least we're making the maneuvers to start doing it. And that is... Oh, that sucks. We lost... The guy that we lost was one of our water guys. Yeah. So... Yeah, he was a... Well, he was a full random. He was a water... air, water, earth. So that really sucks to lose him. Not that this event is not worth it in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So we are setting up to start preaching here in Ministra, one to get our Dominion, but then we are going to start blood hunting here. We're actually recruiting some Furrets in Titan Step, and we're doing it kind of slowly because, one, we don't have much gold that we want to dedicate to this, but two, there's not very many recruitment points here. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to set up a little patrol squad. Ferrets actually have +6 patrol bonus, so they are actually 7.2 patrol strength per ferret, so that's pretty damn good. You can have 10 or 20 ferrets and actually just patrol the crap out of a place. And we're probably going to mix that with a couple of other things from this situation. Probably just pad it out with like some Machops or Radicates or random things. I do want to note, by the way, we have a 33 experience Caterpie. I don't know who this or what this is, but we definitely have another scenario of something evolving into something it's not supposed to evolve into. So I'll try to keep an eye on these individuals and see who I think it actually is. We do have a couple of evolutions that we haven't checked out. I do want to look at them real quick. So we've got a Wheezing that we just got. So these guys have 16 hit points. Very poison resistance. They're floating. They have a poison cloud around them. Not really any good stats, but basically they're just a kind of like a Hydra scenario, right? They're just a poison situation. They do have several ranged attacks of varying different ranges, most of which have some sort of poison effect. And these actually aren't bad for the most part. So I could see if we could get like a little group of these guys actually being pretty decent, especially since, I'm going to go ahead and skip the Hypno for a second. Like the Magneton, these guys are also 25 poison resistance. 11 hit points, which is kind of low, I feel like, for something like this. But you could do something like put a little row of Magnetons, right? And they're relatively high protection, slash resistant, pierce resistant, which with decent other resistances, except for fire, right? But they have this little tri-attack, right? That's a 30 range, I'm assuming just multi-hit attack that does a bunch of different elemental damage, which is kind of cool, right? It does fire, lightning, and cold. So that's pretty neat. If we had like and then the Arboks are also 25 poison resistance, and they're all melee, but they're also fear, and they have 28 hit points. These guys are much tankier, right? So we could have like a little crazy army of like very poison resistant, poison oriented people with toxins getting thrown about, etc. It's just it's a cool thing that we might be able to look forward to in the future, right? We're getting all of these Team Rocket things, and maybe at the end of the day they actually amount to something. We'll see. So we also have the Hypnos, right? So this is the upgrade of the Drowsy. These guys have 20 hit points. Not really good stats, honestly, across the board. Magic resistance is pretty nice, but they've got a bunch of ranged attacks. Hypnosis, so this, I believe this confuses, and then Psychic does damage and frightens, and then Psybeam does damage and confuses. Or maybe Hypnosis actually sleeps, so I think it's sleep, frighten, confusion. So this is actually like a pretty interesting little trifecta of status effects. So again, if we got a little back line of something like Hypnos, these could be more easily used throughout a different type of army, right? Or a normal type of army. But that's kind of cool, you know? It's a couple of different effects that are pretty interesting and decent. Especially, right, we're always in the market for magic attacks. Anything that has magic we are interested in, because we are very, very vulnerable to ethereal on our regular troops. And these attacks are pretty good precision-wise, right? So 25 precision, 10 precision, like those are going to hit the majority of the time. Psybeam less so, but so that's interesting stuff. That is pretty much what is going on over in Viridian City. We're trying to get prepared to maybe do some blood hunting in Ministra with some other stuff, and we're just kind of scaling up, trying to get to the point to where we are ready to go. We're also doing something with Robodan, but I'll talk about that here in a second when we're over in Cyanwood. And it's not exclusive to him, so. What else are we doing? More site searching around and about with Venna, with Irma. We're moving Urborn up into the Impassable Mountains so that he can be a little bit more forward. He is, I don't want to say useless, but he is one of the champions that we do not actually have. Let me turn this down just a little. He's one of the champions that we do not actually have either Earth 3 or Priest, Holy 3 on. So he is less useful than other scenarios might be. So we're trying to move him into a forward position to where he can be used for other things, right? If we want to put, say, like an arm on him and give him like a Frostbrand or something like that, that would be he would be a pretty decent thug because he's still Earth 2, right? So he can still do some pretty nice, especially since if we get more alteration, he can do some pretty nice buffs on himself, etc. So we'll see how he goes as far as like thugging happens. And then we have Impassable Mountains. Nothing is really changing in the Impassable Mountains. We are doing some recruitment, right? Trying to pad out how many Mareeps we have. I didn't really look at recruitment over here. We've got a battle girl coming for our patrolling army and or crush girl and a battle girl for patrolling and for scouting. And over here we're just getting a battle girl, a mage. Here we're getting another mage and we're getting Mareeps because we're trying to pad out the Ampharos factory here, which we are actually getting pretty close on our first couple of Ampharoses, which is going to be very exciting. We're already we'll take a look at the scoreboards here, but we're already at the top economically. So that's really good. If I can actually get this online and be mostly victorious in this war, like if I can at least hold him off and not lose a lot of ground, then this Ampharos factory coming online is going to be a very, very, very big deal. So that's really cool. So we're gonna put these guys in here. I don't know why I didn't already. So back to Cyanwood City, the great city, the wonderful city, still less valuable than Viridian City. So we're doing a couple things in Cyanwood. We failed yet again to get a water random, so we are going to continue to try to do that. We're getting a couple prodigies, basically just filling out our gold usage, and then we're doing a couple of different forges. So we lost Ferris last turn. He was able to make his crystal coin, so now we have these guys, which the game is not letting me do anything with, so they might just permanently be stuck here. We've built up a little patrol force. That patrol force is heading to Dathan along with one of our black belt goes, and this is going to be a hopefully blood hunting factory. It's going to start off really, really slow. Keep in mind, because we do not have effective blood hunting right now. We're not going to have effective blood hunting. This is going to be very painful for quite some time. But we're going to try to do what we can. And then we're doing a bunch of different forging, right? We have, we're still making an owl quill per turn. We're still making 2 lightless lanterns per turn. And we're using every single hammer that we have to try to do something, right? So we've got a hammer making another dragon helmet, a hammer making a dancing trident, and a hammer making a ring of warding. Now, these are all for Robodan. So the helmet, right, is going to give him some more morale, so it's less likely that he is breakable, and it's going to up his protection just slightly, not really a big deal, and it gives him a sparse amount of resistances, whatever. The trident is going to give him a much needed magical attack, right? It's not going to be a very powerful magical attack, but it will be a magical attack. And then the Ring of Warning, I'm actually hoping, if we look here, let me actually show what I'm doing. We've got the helmet, dragon helmet here, morale plus 5, fire resistance, dark vision, whatever. I get to make these for one, they're super efficient helmets. That's why it's getting. The Dancing Trident is a magic attack. Defense 1, length 5, right? You get to make it for 1, and it's a magic attack. That's why I'm and then the Ring of Warning, I'm hoping. So what I have to do is I have to prevent Robodan from. I have to prevent some of my commanders from just getting killed by fucking scissor spam, right? So we're gonna try to use the Ring of Warning to assist us in. So you, in theory, bring twice as many bodyguards as usual during assassination attempts. And we're probably going to start to grab some shield white belts in multiple different locations. These guys start with bodyguard 1. When they promote at 30, they go up to bodyguard 3. When they promote at 90, they go up to bodyguard 9. So my hope is that I can try to start kitting out my leaders, my army leaders, with Rings of Warning and some light other gear, cheap other gear, right? Not costing me a lot of gems, but it is costing me mage turns, which is also very important, right? But I want to try to kit them out with a couple of different things. We're still trying to figure out what the last couple things we try to put on them are, right? We still have one more slot, and I'm not certain about the Ring of Warning or the Dancing Trident, so that might fluctuate. We're going to see. I really want to put bottles of living water on them, right? I would love to put a bottle of living water on pretty much all of my main commanders. If we get a water random for our Battle Girl X's, we can make those at 6 gems, which is what our income is. So that would be very, very nice to not be at a loss there. But I'm beginning to think that these guys can't random this, that this is actually fucking wrong, and either that or we're just super freaking unlucky. What, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Battle Girl X's and not a single water among them. That's insane. But it is what it is. So, are we doing anything else kind of drastic or interesting? Not really, I don't think. We've halted, because of what we're trying to make for our commanders, we've kind of halted Pokeball production for just a moment. I'm hoping that we're going to be able to come back to that shortly. I would like to, because that is one of the main themes that we want to do. But we do have Pokeballs over here in Viridian City, right? We're mostly Pokeballed out in Cyanwood City. We really need the Ampharos factories to come online. Once the Ampharos factories come online, we're going to have so much more money to play with that our choices are going to... We're not going to be as limited, or restricted, rather, in what our choices are. So that's kind of what we're leaning into at the moment. Is there anything else? Oh, we got a couple of other things. With these, I'm beginning to become very, very... pleased by the Battle Girl Ruby's performances. They are very stealthy, they're very high mobility, and the ability to instill uprisings for such a cheap cost is actually really nice. I mean, they're great scouts on their own, but the fact that I'm also able to sit them on a fort and sometimes not get caught is great, and Unrest is a killer, right? In a battle like this, generating unrest against people like this is almost the same as like taking provinces away from them, right? You're losing income every single turn that I generate unrest against you, and that's a killer. That's absolutely a killer. So, I think we're actually... So I think there's... Let's switch this up. I think there's definitely... We're going to send both here, because I'm almost positive there is a fort here. I think I'm going to leave one there, then put one here in Forest of Gun. And so I think I'm going to take one to World Pillar. I want to hit most of his forts, and I want to start instilling the uprisings there to basically quash his ability to make good choices as far as unit production. And I'm honestly, I don't know that that I have great options. Let me check here real quick. So we have Cat's Eye Amulet, which is a stealth boost 20, right? I think there's another thing. I think it's like death or nature boots. So there's a couple things that I don't have access to. I'm gonna do some research in between, but basically like I can't do like Shade Mel Harborkins or whatever or anything like that. But like there are a couple of stealth enabling or boosting items. Really, I'm interested in the stealth boosting items. I thought there was a robe I could do, but maybe I'm definitely thinking of the death robe, aren't I? Or the nature robe. So basically, I'm thinking of actually putting some stealth items on some of these battle girls. Like, if they get caught, I'm probably going to continue to produce more of these, put some stealth boost items on them, and send them back out again. Because I think it is worth it to that point to sacrifice a little bit of gold, a little bit of time, and a little bit of gems to be instilling these types of uprisings in the locations. Like, if I get this in Greenwall, if you put them over 100, they can't recruit. Right? That basically just shuts down the fort. Not to just talk about income, but it basically shuts down your ability to utilize the fort. So we're going to try to make use of that. And we're also going to try to keep an eye out for it, because I think he can do it too. I know. Yeah. So he's got these lasses, right? That are stealthy 80. Holy shit. They're not flying, though, is the only thing. So it's a lot harder for them to successfully get into stuff or move around. So we're going to try to keep an eye out for unrest generation and see if anything springs or jumps up all of a sudden. And if we need to, we're gonna jump in. Okay, anything else? I don't think so. I think that's pretty much it. So, yeah. So I think I will see you all next time. Turn 31. The next 9 turns are going to be very, very big turns for us. If Olivine is unable to stop Chuck's army, it's unlikely he will be able to stop Robodan's army. Okay? I'm going to be bringing Robodan's army up next. Probably dealing with this Steelix with Robodan's army if I have to. But if he is unable to deal with either of their armies, which he might just not be able to, then that's going to be a very big victory for me. But I'm going to have to be very careful, because if I am able to take a good force of this, which I will need to prevent Violet City from taking too much of it, right? But if I'm able to take a good section of this, and I have 3 caps, I'm going to be in a very strong position, but I'm also going to be in a very targeted position. And I will need to be able to respond to anyone coming at me. So, like I said, the next 10 turns, right, from 31 to 40, are going to be very important turns. Oh, I wanted to take a look at the score graphs, because we haven't done that in a while, and I wanted to actually show you all what's going on. So, let's take a look. So, we are here. We are still middle-ish of the pack in terms of provinces. Okay? And keep that in mind, right? We are middle of the pack in provinces. Okay? We have, because we just got that fort, we're up at the top with forts. Okay? We are well above. We are top in income beating out Pewter City. And the two of us are far above everyone else. And Pewter City is top on province count. Okay, that's why they have a crazy amount of income, is because they're top on province count. I mean, they also have good provinces. They have growth 3 as well, I believe. But that's something to keep in mind. Once our Ampharos factories come online, this should skyrocket. Like I said, right? Just Impassable Mountains, this is basically 500 gold per turn once it comes online. Actually, just 100 of them is 500 gold. So a full 140 is close to 750, right? This is crazy. Once this comes online, this would be an astronomical boost. Okay, so we want to keep that in mind, right? This is where we are right now. We are already above everyone else. We have a chance to whoosh, just skyrocket up. Gym income, right? We are actually tied for a second. Again, Pewter City has the most provinces in the game, and we have the gym income of Pewter City, which is pretty good. Atlantis has a crazy amount of underwater income. That they're insane. I do not know how they are achieving that. It's fantastic. Congratulations to them. Research-wise, right, we are starting to do our little curve up. Every turn that we have where we are generating and utilizing all of these lightless lanterns and owl quills is increasing our growth, our exponential growth. I am anticipating that we are going to overtake Cinnabar Island in the next 2 to 3 turns, or Cinnabar City in the next 2 to 3 turns. Dominion, we're still crap, because we are and we don't really care. And army size, again, underneath Pewter City, very far underneath Ekritique. Not really anything I can do about Ekritique. Ekritique is just this crazy, disgusting, scary blob over here that I never want to deal with. I hope they just sit there for all of eternity, basically, and they just kill the land around them forever. I don't want to deal with them. So, we'll see how that goes. Okay. That was a look at the score graphs, and I think that's it. I will see you all next time. Peace.